How's it going, everyone? Got a few people in here already. How you guys doing tonight? Who we got in here with us? How's it going, Kenny? How's it going, Spurfy? Jeff Craik? How'd you guys deer hunting go? Oh, right away. I apologize. I kind of took the weekend off uploading any videos. Main reason is I'm kind of running out of stuff to film. The well has ran dry. We'll probably get some more ice reports up for you guys this week, though. I'll probably go record one actually tomorrow morning. It's going to be down to 12, I think, tonight, something like that. So, yeah, I think people are actually out ice fishing right now. Some people. I don't know how much there is here. It's probably still pretty sketchy, but it might be good tomorrow. I got a buddy over in Minnesota. I know he's out fishing. I'm not exactly sure where he's at, but he's out fishing. There's definitely ice around. Like I said, I just don't know how much. I'll go pop a couple holes tomorrow. I doubt that I'll fish, but we'll see. See the fish in Red Lake, yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing that on Ice Junkies. Fishing More, I think, posted a video from Red Lake, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I know one of my buddies too said that he's going out tomorrow afternoon fishing, so it must be decent amount of ice. I mean, unless he's banking on it building a lot tonight, which it probably will. I don't know how windy it's going to be as far as locking anything new up, but stuff that's locked up, if it gets down to 12 degrees tonight, it'll probably build, a little bit. Excuse the noise of the dog eating back there. So yeah, that's something that we can finally look forward to now. Ice fishing. It's still going to get warm here this week, other than tonight. So after tomorrow, I think it's going to get back close to 40. But I don't think it'll be enough to completely ruin the ice. As long as we keep it locked up, I think we'll be all right. Because then after this week, it is looking like it's going to be good ice building. Highs in the 20s and lows in the teens. You found ice in Vilas County? 4 inches? Okay. Yeah, that's plenty enough safe to walk on. I usually get out on 2 every year. Yeah, if it, I don't know. I don't like to go by myself. If I can get somebody to go with, maybe sometime this week, depending on what it looks like, maybe we'll get a video for you guys. If not, I'll drive around anyways, maybe tomorrow, and kind of check out the ice for you guys and do a video like we did last year hunting for safe ice. Take the pistol bit along and just go out and pop some holes. Zeus. You get any new ice fishing gear for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? No, I haven't gotten anything. Nothing I really need. I didn't even look up deals or anything, so I don't even know what was out there. I don't think Cyber Monday deals are nearly what Black Friday deals are, but yeah, I didn't even do any research on the stuff this year. See what was out. I don't really need anything new this year. I was thinking about doing a video today for you guys on just I was cleaning up the garage and burning some stuff today. We bought a 70-inch TV when we bought this house, and I've had the box lying in the basement. And then when I had that deer hanging out in the garage, I used it for that to lay underneath it, so my floor wasn't getting full of blood. But um, yeah, it was time for it to go, so I burnt that up today and picked up some branches in the yard and burnt that. But um, the yard cleanup videos and stuff like that doesn't do too well. I do that sometimes when um, yeah, to see how you guys like them anyways, but it doesn't seem like they're too popular, so I don't upload a lot of them anymore. It was just I went and got some propane exchanges, so I started the torpedo heater in the garage today, cleaned it up a little bit. It wasn't a mess, but I just like to keep everything kind of in order out there so I can find stuff when I need it. I'm in the same boat, buddy. I want to go buy more stuff, but I've got everything I need at this point. Yeah, that's the way it is with me. There's nothing I need, and everything I need I got 10 of, so I don't really need anything. Yeah, I've got absolutely everything. Maybe some different gloves, but that's kind of really trying to think of something that I would need. Some gloves for ice fishing, but like I said, I just usually sit in a shack or sit in the truck when I ice fish, so I don't really get out and need gloves that much. When I'm out setting my tip ups or um, doing anything with my tip ups, I don't have gloves on because I can't stand having gloves on when I mess with hooks and stuff like that, because the hooks will get caught in them and then they get wet. I know you can buy ones that don't get wet, but they're really cumbersome for me when I use them. What do I want to target early ice? I usually always target pike early ice. All my early ice spots, that's pretty much all they're good for is little hammer handle pike. Um, I could get out to some walleye spots and stuff too, but I just go for little pike. I had to order a new plate for the one-shot skimmer, so when I use the K-drill, it can use it. Okay, yeah, that company there, Blue Tips or Deep Freeze or whatever, they were supposed to send me one of those last year. Never did. They look cool. I don't know that I'd use it a ton. Well, with the pistol bit and probably the K-drill too, usually if you just throw it in reverse, it'll clean all the slush. This is not 100% all the slush out, but pretty damn close to getting all the slush out. Last week I bought the Pacific, what is that word? I know I've seen it. I CXP inline reel for the Fenwick Techno Ultra light rod. Okay. I've never used an inline reel. I've heard good things about them though. Yeah, I'd like to. Maybe I'll have to go on the ice depth. There's an app on your phone or whatever for ice reports or stuff. I kind of want to see what the ice is like over by where I do my brown trout fishing. I'd like to get over there with my jaw jackers for early ice. But then I got to get somebody to go with that's got a shack. You sit in the truck there and you're too slow to get to the jaw jackers or tip ups usually anyways. Jaw jackers probably a little better. But yeah, I want to get out there and do some early ice fishing for brown trout. Went out and did some deer drives yesterday morning too with my brother and my dad. Uh, didn't see anything, but my dad, he was having a hard time. My dad's usually always gotten deer, and he wasn't hardly seen anything. He's seen the same two deer all season a fawn and last year's fawn. He was seeing the two of them all season, and it's just like everything all of a sudden went nocturnal on him. And so you're just seeing the same two small deer over and over again. He wasn't going to shoot them. So we went over to the place where my brother hunts, and did some drives over there for him and some real thick brush stuff, and didn't see anything. So we kind of went home, and then my dad went back out in the afternoon to the spot he'd been hunting, and there's trails out there or whatever. So he kind of drove around in the loop and seen a doe, and hopped out of the truck and shot it anyways. So he did get a deer. I think my brother got a doe and a buck, but the buck had been hit by the neighbor before my brother shot it, and so he gave that buck to them. Nothing too spectacular. It was a decent little 8-pointer, but nothing huge. I was thinking about recording yesterday for you guys when we were out doing the deer drive, but there's no way I was holding the camera walking through those briars. Some really, really, really thick stuff in there. What do you guys plan on targeting for early ice? Bluegills in Madison. Took the kid out hunting yesterday, sat down 10 minutes. Later, a little one came through at about Mach 90. Going up for pike and crappies, yeah. Yeah, my favorite early ice spot to go for, well, for any, I guess, pike. Um, that probably won't be locked up yet. I don't know if you want to call it an early ice spot. It's not as fast as a lot of the places here on the chain, but it's always just right behind anyways. And then I have way better luck over there for pike than I do anywhere here on the chain. Never any big ones, but always a lot of action, so it's fun to go out there and chase a lot of flags during the day. Depends on what the weather looks like. Maybe I'll take my wife out this coming weekend or the weekend after. My one buddy that I did several videos with the last couple years, depending on what his work schedule is like, maybe I'll get him to go out and maybe go do those brown trout. I'm sure we can hop on the chain here somewhere and just at least get some tip ups in. That's the funnest part of the year, is just getting out there, even if you anticipate not catching a lot. Really been liking the Widowmaker jigs? Okay. Yeah, I've heard of them. I've never used them. I still have some tip ups I got to go through, but I should be good for early ice anyways. They're little to no maintenance on them, really, so I got to just kind of dig them out and make sure there's no tangles or anything like that, and they should be good to go. Oh, what's the temp here right now? Temp here right now is 19. So I'm sure she's building ice right now. Yeah, I'll do an ice report for you guys in the morning. Probably upload it in the morning too. And yeah, I bet you there'd be a couple inches out there. I drove across the Long Bridge here today, and everything was all locked up all the way across both sides of the bridge. So that's Chetek, and that's Prairie Lake. And yeah, so there should be Should be good enough ice out there. I bet you a guy could get out there and fish tomorrow. It's gonna get down to 12 degrees tonight. It should be good. It'll be sketchy, but should be walkable. Degrees. 27 in Madison. Yeah, it's always a big difference. Some of you guys that live in the southern part of the state, maybe not quite as far as Madison, were saying that you guys are probably going to be around the same time I am. Give or take a week or so maybe at the most, but it shouldn't be long for you guys either, I wouldn't think. Got a little cold snap coming through here, beginning of December through maybe like the second week of December. I would say that we'll all be out ice fishing for sure. It's 22 with a real feel of 16 right now. Yeah, so see, we're not that far off. You're building ice right there now too. The sun, during the day screws with things a little bit, even if it is below 32, but yeah, a lot of darkness this time of year. So that it's good for building ice. The wind is a huge factor, of course. If you're not froze over yet, you gotta pray for some nights where it's calm, and days where it's calm, not windy. That, and everybody be careful too. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but if you're going out like me during early ice, I just drive up to a boat landing, walk out, pop my holes, set my tip ups in, go back, sit in the truck, and wait for a flag. Well, a lot of times if you come up to a place with a concrete or blacktop landing, that sun, hits that blacktop or concrete and it warms it up. And every year I have less ice around that boat landing. You walk off either direction a couple feet, and we have this time of year close to an inch more ice off to the side. So be careful around those pavement boat landings. There was one year, probably 2 years ago, at least, maybe 3. I almost didn't get a tip up out just because it was over top of the boat landing. I wasn't thinking. Early in the morning, drilled my hole, set my tip up in, and then by the afternoon, that ice got really weak there because of that boat landing. Concrete warmed up the water, and wasn't very safe. It's not that hot of the sun, it's the wind. Well, I've been out on days too where it's been like, 20 low 20s degrees, and the ice is deteriorated during the day. Don't know why, but it just seems like that's the way it's happened for me before. That was the Peterson studying method in college, setting my tip ups and studying for my exams. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, there's still a little prepping I need to do. I need to get my bait cooler. I need to put some fresh batteries in there. I'll check them. They might still have a little life in them, but probably put some fresh batteries in there. Get my tip ups are good to go. My 3, anyways. So I'm ready to go any day. Really, there's a little bit of work I need to do, but not much. Get my spud bar out. My picks. Those are all ready to go. Maybe some cleats. Have to get those out. No snow on the ice. It's going to be slippery, that's for sure. You guys planning on doing the late doe hunt this year? My dad was thinking about doing that just because he wasn't seeing anything. I don't know if he plans on it now. I don't know what you guys think. If you guys got out and did much deer hunting, it's always a debate whether the deer population is as strong as it used to be or not. Um, from my experience and like my dad and brother and stuff, they're not seeing as much as they used to. Um, I don't think there's the deer there was say 3-4 years ago. Because we go shining, like you guys know, I go shining 1 to 2 to 3 times a week sometimes, and we've been doing that for quite a few years now, me and my dad. And yeah, we just haven't been seeing them like we used to. You know, a few years ago, we'd drive by a cornfield that was just cut, and sometimes you'd see 50 deer out there in the field. Now, if you see 10 in the field, you're doing good. Um, yeah, it's just you don't see them like we used to. My dad hunting and my brother hunting and stuff. They're not seeing them like they used to while they're out in the woods. Time to get the rest of the ice fishing gear ready. Yep. I need to take a doe off the bow hunting land. There you go. If the freezer's filled, might as well. Yeah, you've heard of not many people seeing deer. Yeah, and I don't know what the reasoning for that is. Say if the population is down. Who really knows if it is or not? Um, but if it is down, I'm guessing. Well, I mean, there's several things. CWD could be playing a factor. You know, harder than it has before. It could be the snow that we had a few years ago. You know, we had like over 100 inches of snow. It was record breaking. Last year was kind of mild, but you know, it'd probably take a couple years to rebound from something like that. Wolves are, you know, at a high, you know, right now for the population. Can't say all-time high, but you know, they're got a good population of wolves now. They're not everywhere. If you see one, it's pretty rare, so they're probably not that big of a deal until you get up further north. But yeah, and I think the registration too, where you register online or over the phone, I think it's just too easy to not register your deer. So I think maybe the last few years that they've been doing that, people aren't registering them, and that could be screwing up the DNR's um, population estimates. Who knows? You shot 3 deer this year. Anyone need me? Yeah, I heard they took the wolves off the endangered species list. Yeah, they did. I don't know if that's going to lead to a hunt at some point. I know certain situations you can trap them. Obviously, hunters or farmers and uh, stuff like that. They can shoot them if they're a threat to their livestock and stuff like that. Um, I know a lot of people are happy that they're taken off the endangered species list. Hound hunters in particular, farmers. Not that I really have anything against wolves, but they definitely need to be kept in check because of stuff like, you know, farmers and hunters. I just don't want them running rampant around, that's for sure. And you get a good population of them. It's a win-win for everybody. I mean, really, guy can get out and hunt them. The DNR can make money off the hunters, obviously, selling tags and yeah, that's the big issue is registration is a joke. You can illegally shoot a big one and no one would know. Exactly. I know several people that have shot deer and not even bothered to register them. I think it really should go back to registration stations like gas stations, stuff like that. God, dog, you stink. That dog has got the worst gas of any dog I've ever been around. Jesus. Yeah, half the fun was going to the registration station to show off the deer and tell the story. Exactly. I remember going with my dad a few times to register his deer. It was kind of humorous sometimes when he always, well, I mean, not always, but several times he'd shoot him in the head if he could to save the meat. And then he'd go get a high school girl out of the gas station to come out and tag his deer or whatever and register it. And she'd look at it and get all grossed out. The head's blown off. Stop feeding him baked beans. This dog, I think, gets gas from water. I have no idea. He doesn't get table scraps or anything. Just dog food and water. My daughter, she'll throw him stuff once in a while. We'll catch her doing it, but yeah, he don't get table scraps. People complain about having to register a deer, and now people complain they don't have to. Personally, yeah. I definitely don't like the way it is now. I mean, I don't even hunt. I think it's kind of stupid the way it is now, for me personally. But I also don't like the way the fishing licenses are now. That's kind of a joke. The price of a lot of the stuff too. You know, guys spend so much money on fishing and hunting. They should, you know, basically give the tags away. But then there wouldn't be any money for the state and the DNR. It does bring business to those places, that's for sure. The info helps the herd. Yep, it sure does. And to hear the stories from all the hunters, yeah. Well, I mean, they don't do that anymore. I remember a couple years ago, my dad and I were actually out shining, and we're coming back into town, and seeing a guy with a black bear in the back of his truck at the gas station. That guy had a crowd of people going up to him just to hear the story of the black bear. You know, older guy, probably in his 70s, shot a black bear. It was a decent one too. It's a few 100 pounds. And yeah, we all went up to him and got to hear his story. Anyways, I mean, he didn't. He was just getting gas. You know, it's also a good way to meet people and make new friends and stuff like that and learn is a big thing. I mean, obviously, it's not the year to just be walking up and chatting with people. You know how that is, but normally, yeah, that's a good time. All right, guys, we got a couple minutes left here. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask. We'll cut her off here. We usually end her about a half hour. You guys are new here. Any of you that isn't commenting, and I think everybody commenting and chatting right now is a regular. But if anybody's new here, we do these live streams every Monday night, 6 o'clock Central Time. Um, I usually always get to everybody's chats in here. It's not too hard with our smaller groups, but there's ever a point where I'm just not getting to your comment for some reason. In the future, if we get more people, then there's the super chat option. Obviously, I'd see that. And the thing is, this year I don't think there were no big groups of people doing drives. Yeah, I don't know. It just like my buddy, I did the tour of his land for you guys in a video. There were several groups of people, his neighbors around, that weren't out hunting, so they weren't, you know, the deer weren't moving much out by him. And I don't know what the deal was with my dad over there. What happened? He hasn't really said. Last year he complained to me a lot about people hunting right on the property lines, and the section that he has to hunt is only 15 acres. So people owning 40s around and stuff like that, and then sitting right on the property line, he's looking at like three different groups of hunters. And one guy's falling off his log. He's sitting out there on a log, and one guy just getting up and walking around all the time and stuff like that. He didn't really complain about that to me this year. I'll have to ask him if he'd seen anybody else out there. But he didn't complain about it, so it makes me think that maybe nobody was hunting, at least not that close this year. and maybe that's why deer weren't moving around. He didn't see much last year, but he seen more last year than he did this year. But yeah, like I said, he only seen the 2 deer, and I remember days where he would have more than 2 deer killed on opening day. You know, there'd be years where he'd get 7 of them. So I'm not sure what the issue was, why they weren't moving during the daylight hours like they had in the past. Just all of a sudden, like I said, a flip of the switch and they all turned nocturnal. And the same with my buddy too. He said that just all of a sudden they all went nocturnal on him, and he was only getting pictures on his trail cams at night and all that stuff. So can't really explain it. I know a lot of people say that baiting will turn deer nocturnal, but you can't even bait around here anyways. It's illegal. You're not supposed to anyways. All right, guys, we're past the half-hour mark here. Thanks everybody for stopping in. If you haven't already, leave a like. Comment down below once this re-uploads if you want. And subscribe. We're coming out with new videos all the time. We'll see you guys next week.